Once upon a time, Pomi and Momi, two beautiful birds, lived happily with their mother in Iceland. They loved each other dearly, always looking out for one another. As winter approached, cold winds began to blow. Their mother turned to Pomi and Momi and said, "It's too cold here. We need to leave." Pomi looked up and asked, "Where will we go, Mama?" Momi chirped, "I hope we find a sunny place." Their mother smiled warmly. "We will find a warm place. Don't worry." The following morning, they took off and commenced their extensive journey. Along the way, they stopped occasionally to rest and regain their strength. After days of flying, they finally arrived at a lush green forest. "This is exactly what we needed," Momi exclaimed joyfully. They landed and spent days resting, happily feasting on the scattered grains they found. After 2 days, their mother said, "It's time to build our home." "I'll gather twigs," Pommy said excitedly. "And I'll find soft leaves for the bedding," Momi added. Working together, they carefully bound the twigs to form sturdy walls and a strong floor. After constructing the home, they embellished it with vibrant flowers and gentle foliage. They made cozy beds from leaves and feathers. Their new home became a warm, peaceful haven, a perfect place to rest. One early morning, Pomi and Momi woke up before their mother. "Let's make some porridge," Pomi suggested. They quickly prepared it in a small pot. When their mother woke up, they served her breakfast, and the three ate together happily. After breakfast, they set out to search for food. One day, Pomi noticed their mother still in bed, shivering. "You don't look well," he said, his voice filled with concern. "I feel so weak," she whispered faintly. "I think I have a fever." Pomi immediately rushed to find Momi. "We need to take her to Dr. Rabbit," he said urgently. They accompanied their mother to Dr. Rabbit's clinic, where he conducted an examination. Your mother has a fever and is very weak," Dr. Rabbit said kindly, handing them a small bottle of medicine. "Give her this, and she will feel better soon." Pomi and Momi helped their mother back home and cared for her while she recovered. One day, Pomi overheard a sparrow talking nearby. "I saw a man in the village spreading grains of maize and corn under the banyan tree," the sparrow said excitedly. After Pomi informed Momi, they decided to visit the tree to gather food. However, the village tree was far from their nest in the forest, and they returned empty-handed. One day, Pomi had an idea. "Our mother is too sick to fly and must be hungry," he said. "We must find a way to send her food. We can ask the sparrows, pigeons, and crows near our home to take the grains to her. Momi suggested. The next morning, Pomi and Momi flew to the banyan tree, collected grains, and gave some to their fellow birds. They instructed their fellow birds to deliver the food to their mother. However, the clever birds consumed all the grains along the way, leaving nothing to deliver to their mother. Days later, Pomi sighed. I keep thinking about Mama. She must miss us, and I miss her too. Momi's eyes lit up. Yes, let's go and surprise her. Pomi and Momi carefully filled their pouches with grains and flew home. Mama will be so happy, Pomi said. When they arrived, they found their mother barely moving, her breaths weak and shallow. Mama, Pomi cried, his voice trembling with fear. Go get water! Hurry! He shouted to Momi. Momi dropped his grains and flew to the stream as fast as his wings could carry him. He filled his pouch with water and rushed back. While waiting, Pomi placed grains in their mother's mouth, hoping she would respond. When Momi returned, Pomi carefully poured drops of water into her mouth. Slowly, their mother stirred and opened her eyes. They wept with relief, hugging her tightly. Angry and determined, Pomi and Momi flew to confront the birds who had betrayed them. You ate the grains we sent for our mother, Pomi shouted at Mrs. Jojo the sparrow. If we hadn't returned in time, she could have died. They also confronted Mr. Ruru, the pigeon. How could you eat the grains? You nearly caused our mother's death, Pomi yelled, his voice filled with frustration. From that day on, they decided never to rely on others and stayed near their mother to protect her. In a nearby village, a hunter named Louis spent his days hunting animals in the forest and selling them in the market. One day, while hunting, Louis spotted a beautiful bird. He shot it, placed it in his bag, and continued hunting. When Louis returned home, he proudly showed the bird to his wife. I will cook this tonight. It will be delicious, he said with a smile. His wife frowned. You shouldn't have killed that little bird, she scolded. It's not enough to feed us, and it's cruel to take a life just for your taste. But Louis ignored her and enjoyed the bird with his children. One day, Louis returned to the forest and spotted Pomi, Momi, and their mother perched on a tree. Oh, how beautiful these birds are, he thought. If I hunt them, the meat will be delicious. He aimed his bow at the mother bird. Seeing this, Pomi stepped in front of her and pleaded, Oh, hunter, if you must kill, take my life, but spare my mother. The cruel hunter laughed. Foolish bird, you think I will listen to you? He shot the arrow, killing Pomi instantly. Next, Momi shielded his mother and begged, Please take my life, but let our mother live. But the hunter, cold-hearted and relentless, killed Momi and then their mother. Proud of his hunt, Louis returned home. However, when he arrived, he found his house engulfed in flames. His neighbors tried to save it, but failed. His family was gone, and everything he owned was destroyed. Tears streamed down Louis's face as he cried, "What have I done? This is my punishment." Moral: recklessness and cruelty lead to regret and loss.